Sup, everybody. Welcome. 3.6. It doesn't feel like it. But it's here. So am I. Okay. Honestly, first comment that pops out is Eula rerun when. But, you know, the better question is Eula rerun why? I'm not one to hate on characters, really. No, believe me, I don't hate on characters. You guys might find it really hard to believe that, but it's true. I don't hate them. I just have my complaints. I have things about them that I wish were different. That's not the same as hate, right? I'm not going out here saying they have to be different. I have these characters, I play these characters, and I make videos about these characters, but please do not confuse my discontent with how they function with me hating said character. In fact, I would even go as far as to say, if I hated the character, I would never talk about the character, because I would never mention their flaws. I wouldn't even touch on them because I don't care if they get better, because I'm never going to play them, because I don't want them to get better, right? In fact, if I hated Eula, I would say she is fine the way she is right now. No, honestly, think about it. No, that's the logic. If I really hated Eula, I would just say, you know, she's perfect. Don't change her. Don't buff her. She's the best character in the game. I would straight up lie through my teeth and say she is the best. Don't touch her. Don't give her supports. Don't give her new stuff. Don't give her anything. Don't fix physical. Don't change super conduct. Keep everything as it is right now. Rerun her once every 3 years because she's so OP. I would say that if I hated Eula. Right? So that's what I get confused, you know, like, but apparently the Eula mains are the ones who are saying that. So it makes me really confused. Like, do they love her? Do they hate her? Or there's this thing in Chinese we call ni ai, which is like you love them too much to the point where you are hurting them, right? So a great example of that in China, in like raising children, because this is when what we apply to when raising children. When you love them too much, for example, you take away their ability to experience new things. For example, they really like doing track and field. They like running, right? They like running, but you prevent them from running. You're like, no, don't run, you're gonna get hurt, right? But what that ends up doing, like, yes, you're doing it out of the love you have for them, but what ends up happening is you've prevented them from basically developing the skills and stuff. Maybe they could have been an elite athlete. You don't know that, but because you were scared of them tripping, falling, hurting themselves, so at a young age you prevented them from running, right? And you give them money whenever they ask, right? You guys might that sound like, oh my god, that's so great. You, like, since the age of 7 or 8, you give them like $3,000 a month every month to spend, and then when they're into college, you give them like $10,000 a month to spend. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good on the surface. You guys are like, oh, I wish I had $10,000 every. But imagine what that does to the mentality of the child, right? Right. Think of what that does to the mentality of the child. That is what we call Nia. It's like love to the point of hurting them. So that's how I feel whenever I see a main talking about their character. They love the character so much to the point that they're willing to overlook all their flaws and problems. Not all mains, but those you guys know who I'm talking about, right? The people who will refuse to admit to the most basic flaws of a character's kit. Right. So, for example, Venti, those die-hard Venti mains who still claim to this day that Venti is better than Kazuha. It's just that, for whatever reason, nobody else sees it but them, right? They're saying that Venti is easy to play in all abysses. Venti has no issues with the fact that he can't see these big monsters. It's not a problem because you can just land your ult better. You can land his burst better, then it wouldn't be a problem. Right, so this is what I'm talking about, and there's a portion of Eula mains who are actually hurting her ability to most likely get reruns, get changes, because they're constantly battling with the people who are demanding for change. So when there's this tug and war back and forth between the two communities, it's in HoYoverse's best interest to just let you guys duke it out. Luca's asking Venti mains. I mean, I'm sure they exist. I've came across a couple of them, right? The ones who claim, but I'll say this: they have become more and more scarce over the years. They have truly. Venti mains nowadays are some of the rarest phenomenons you'll come across in Genshin Impact. It's crazy because people would think that Sucrose is more utilized than Venti, but it's actually not true. Sucrose is used less than Venti. Statistically, that is. I'm talking about statistically in the top bracket of players, not across all players. I'm pretty sure across all players, casual and hardcore, Sucrose may be used more. But in the top, I would say 1 to 2% of players, meaning the ones who really cares about meta and they're constantly clearing Spiral Biz, in the top 1 to 2%, Venti is still used more. So at least in CN. Let me just slap that one on at the end there. At least in CN. So yeah. I hope you guys all got a chance to watch the interview video I did with Lay7. It provided a lot of insight to the differences between these Giga Whales and what they kind of want to spend their money on. Because imagine dropping $2,000 in the game for a single fully upgraded character, maybe like $2,500 actually is more accurate. Imagine dropping $2,500, $2,500 on one character and having that character underperform throughout like the last, I don't know, 10 Spiral Abyss rotations. It does feel really bad. It's not that it's not doable, it's that it feels difficult. By the way, we got dinner tonight. It looks like pork with caramelized onions and some edamame beans on rice. So it's like your typical Asian dinner, I guess. So I'm gonna eat in between here while I talk with you guys. Oh. That's because the man, I lost my 50-50 to Chi-Chi. It's gonna hurt right now for people who are pulling. It's gonna hurt. Negative Virus says, I just think no one should main a single unit. It just causes tragedy and regret in the end. But that's what HoYoverse wants. That's how HoYoverse designs this. Because HoYoverse designs these characters in ways you firstly get attached to them emotionally, and then you find out about their kit. The best characters are the ones that you can attach to emotionally and have really good kits, right? And it shows in the sales. The Archons, they're like the biggest part to play in every single main story arc. And they also have incredibly broken kits. That's why they're the best characters. So HoYoverse constantly is trying to match the Archons, but like they're using the Archons as the golden stamp of character quality, right? But not all characters can reach that level. However, character performance is more important than character attachment, in my opinion, because look at a character like Kazuha. When he first came out, nobody knew what the hell what's his deal. We knew about a bit about his backstory, and that was pretty much it, right? We were traveling around with him with Beto and stuff, like doing some wushu tournament and stuff. His involvement in the story at the time wasn't that important. Yet, it only took about a patch or two before we realized how powerful of a character he is for people to really desire him. Now, of course, they basically handicapped Venti after they released Kazuha, which also made him even better. But my point is, look at another character who was incredibly involved prior to her release in the story. Very, very important role to play in the story. And now, what happened? Who was that character? One of the most prevalent characters in the story. Everybody was so attached. They were like, oh my god, this is such a cool character. Just made me even more hype. And then what happened? Huh? Worst banner sales. Dia. That's what I'm talking about. Dia. So when we say like, oh, we want to like these characters. Yeah, you do want to like these characters. I mean, it would be ideal if you like these characters. But most of the time, characters who are very strong just sells better. Even if they're not that involved in the story yet, or if they don't play a big role in the story. Hmm. And so the character I have on screen right now is really weird because she isn't really that involved in the story. I mean, she is. She's there. She's a side character, right? I would say Nilou is a side character in the story of Sumeru. Really, she is. Dia felt much more like the centerpiece. But the story comes and goes, right? That's my point. Eventually, both of these characters are just going to be non-involved in the story. So, like, right now, I don't know. I haven't played through the new Archon quest yet, but how involved is going to be Dia, right? Her involvement in the story is temporary, but her kit is permanent. So when you are polling for characters, you have to really understand the differences between your temporary emotions as opposed to like the permanency of investing in such a character for your account, right? So think about it like this. A good way I like to interpret these characters is like, how would I feel about this character a year from now, right? What would be the thing that I involve myself with this character a year from now? Am I still going to be as moved by the stuff they did in their story a year from now? Not so much, right? A year from now, I'll probably be drooling over another character that's about to come out. That's just how Genshin goes. So once you guys understand this mentality, it'll make it much easier to not be emotionally manipulated into polling for characters, because I think a lot of people do end up doing that, especially newer players. Like if you're in the first 3 months of Genshin Impact, there's a good chance you might just dump all your savings on the character because other people are saying, oh, they're so cool, they're so great, they're so fun. And then people also say, oh, it's such a OP character. Content creators are hyping them up like crazy, like, oh, insane damage, wow, best teams, best guide. And then they're like, oh, look at me hitting for like a total, like, 500,000 damage, so much damage. And you're like still farming for your second artifact set and you're barely able to crack the 100,000 mark for damage. Then you're gonna think 500,000 is a lot. That's how gacha games work, right? These games have to rely on people's impatience for growth in order to capitalize on selling you, characters. Hans Boo, who says, in Nilou Boom, should Nahida be on full EM or crit build? Nahida should always be on full EM. Always. I don't think I've ever came across a situation where I needed to build Nahida crit, because a part of her kit is to transfer her EM scaling to another character. So I don't know. I've always kept Nahida on full EM. Yeah. So I've never tried crit Nahida. I'll be honest with you guys, never once have I tried crit Nahida. Mainly because the artifact domain just doesn't like me and doesn't want to give me any half decent artifact set. But that's beside the point. Oh, by the way, we are gonna venture into this zone later to just farm this. We're gonna dump everything on this new domain. Do I need this set? Absolutely not. But I just want to do it for shits and giggles, and I'm actually really interested to maybe get my hands on this set, even though not necessarily it's not that useful right now, right? And I'm also curious. This should be the last sub area we get for Sumeru, right? Like we started off over here. We got like multiple. We got this area, right? So we got this, then we got this, and now we get this. Is there gonna be one more, or that's it? Is there gonna be one more, or this is it? I'm pretty sure this is it, because next patch 3.7, then 3.8, and then Fontaine should come on. So what? Where is Fontaine? Is Fontaine over here, down here, or is Fontaine up here? I think as we go north, it should be Shiznaya. Shiznaya should be here. So Fontaine might be on our left here. So Fontaine might be in the west, right, side of the map. And as we go south of Fontaine, this is where whatchamacallit? Natlan should be in the south, no? So is Fontaine in the west? Where would Fontaine even go? Is my question. That's my main concern right now. Fontaine is north of Liyue. Oh, Fontaine is next to Oceanid? Oh, here's Fontaine. Really? So this is where Fontaine is? Up here? So Fontaine leads into Shiznaya. Fontaine and Shiznaya are going to be neighbors, kind of, right? Natlan is down here. So I guess as you keep going down the desert, Natlan would be down in the south. Yeah, it makes sense for Natlan to be more in the southern region. Fontaine slightly north. So Fontaine would be sandwiched over here. This area would be Fontaine. Well, I wish we could zoom out the map more. This is as far zoomed out as I can go. I wish we can actually see the whole map being slowly developed, because when we first started the game, now comparative, it looks so small, right? We didn't have chasm. It was just like here. That's it. That was it. Come up to here, I believe. Right here, and here's the cutoff. You didn't have Inazuma. That's it. This is the only area. Look how small the world used to be when we first started. We've more than doubled in size, in my opinion, right? More than doubled in size. So cool. I see. But yeah, we'll see what we can get for the new artifact set. But let's talk a little bit about 3.7. Seems like there's no 5 stars. Now, I don't know about you. The character they teased did not look like a 5-star. Kirara, right? That's a new character. Kirara, I think the Dendro character from Inazuma. Yeah, 4-star. I think 3.8 is the Golden Archipelago. 3.7 with no new 5 stars either has to have an insane rerun banner, or it's gonna be the most difficult patch for people to play through. And you guys want to know why that is? Welcome to Walrus Conspiracy, where here we're going to talk about everything that 99% of the chance is not true, but that 1% chance is what keeps us going. Okay? It's because of Honkai Star Rail. That's my conspiracy. 3.7 is going to be a really slow patch because of Honkai Star Rail. Now, they're not trying to kill Genshin so Honkai Star Rail can thrive. But as Honkai Star Rail's first patch begins, which is at the end of this month, so come 3.7, it's gonna be around the end of the first patch almost for Honkai Star Rail, maybe. Honkai Star Rail might be moving into patch 1.1, and there might be something exciting happening in that game. Yeah, Sorby says they're going to want you to play Star Rail, so Genshin's going to be slow. Yeah, they're going to slow down Genshin a little bit, utilize Genshin's slowest patch rotations, which is always at the end of the major regions, right? They always slow down the patch at the end of the... So they're going to use that to drive a lot more attention and resources maybe into Honkai Star Rail. Now, that doesn't mean 4.0 isn't going to be bomb. It's still going to be bomb and really exciting. New region, new Archon is about to get released. Right, so overall, that's going to be really, really exciting for Genshin. But by then, hopefully Honkai Star Rail has garnered enough attention and momentum to have a stable and consistent following and support structure to make sure that title leads a successful journey in of itself. But in the beginning, they need to make sure, even if they make Genshin so boring to the point where they're forcing you to try something else, like basically pushing you away from the game for just a month or two, because they know if you're, if you have been playing Genshin for a year or two, you're gonna come back when Fontaine drops. You just will, right? Even players who have quit will come back just to check out Fontaine. That's just how it is. So they're okay with you leaving the game for a month or two if it means that there's a chance you might give Honkai Star Rail a try. Now that I've said this, you probably won't be like, oh, if that's what they're going to do, I'm never going to play Honkai Star Rail if that's how they try to manipulate, right? People don't want to feel manipulated, but you constantly are manipulated. I'm just pointing that out. There's a very good chance that that's happening, all right? I'm just saying. Am I playing Honkai Star Rail? Yes, I am. Am I a filthy sellout? Yes, I am. Am I going to make videos about it? Yes, I am. But hey, I'm doing it because I enjoy these kind of gacha games. I probably won't spend a lot of money on Honkai Star Rail because now that I've noticed, when it comes to Hoyoverse games, spending money really doesn't mean jack. It really doesn't mean anything. I like spending money to, I don't know. It's an exchange, right? I give them money, they give me what? A cool character to play the game with. But for what? There's literally nothing to do with a lot of these characters, right? I wish I only had maybe 3 teams. Like, I can make videos about Genshin that are meta based videos. I enjoy talking about a bunch of different things, right? So not necessarily, when was the last time I used Eula? When was the last time I used Ito? When was the last time, right, Goro, Albedo? When was the last time any of these characters were utilized? Like, what was the point of spending all that money? I don't know. Do you guys know? I don't know. They were all for temporary enjoyment. It just felt good in the moment. So go move, and there are other gacha games where spending money does give you an edge. Am I saying that I enjoy pay to win? Yes, maybe. I'm maybe insinuating I enjoy pay to win because I oftentimes pay and I win, or I pay to win. So, but Genshin isn't a pay to win game. Like, you literally don't get any benefits from spending money over other people. Like, in fact, I've noticed that spending money really just hurt my ability to enjoy events, to enjoy the things in the game, because I felt like, oh, why should I play this event? I can just buy my way out of any Primo Gem shortage. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But if I take my ability, I take away my ability to buy large amounts of Primo Gems, I will be far more incentivized to care and play the events. It might be a little boring at times, but at least I'll be playing the game. I'll be, spending more time on the game, and maybe I'll find out more lore about the game, right? I'm losing a lot of the ability to enjoy the game because I can buy my way out of any of these problems. No. So, yeah. We'll see. I might be a Honkai Welcome player or a Honkai Battle Pass player because I realized, this is what I realized. If you're a Battle Pass and Welcome player, you're getting so much resources. Like, just let's take a look at what you get from the Battle Pass in Genshin Impact. Just look at the amount of stuff you get. Look at this. Look at the Mora. EXP books. Resin. Talent materials. You have some summons there, not too much. Look at the weapon stuff. It's crazy how much they give you in this. So I don't need to be a huge whale. I can just play the battle pass every single month and get the welcome moon and play the game actually. So yeah. Yeah, like Genshin through and Honkai Star Rail utilizes a similar monetization model as Genshin Impact. So I don't know if you guys know about this yet. I'm currently working on a couple videos explaining this and giving you guys tips and pointers prior to starting because I'm doing my own research. So I might as well just make it into a video before I start the game so you guys know exactly what you guys are getting yourselves into as well. Rolling in Genshin actually punish you because it makes the content so easy that it's not even worth. Yeah, in a way, it depends on how you whale. Some people will call me a whale. Others will call me a big dolphin. Because I don't have a single C6 R5 character. Not one. The highest weapon I have is my Amos bow, I think. And it's like R4. And that's because I kept getting it when I was summoning for other stuff on the standard banner. I know it was standard banner, but I didn't know any better back in the day, okay? But I don't have a single major whaled out character. All the money I've spent are sprawled across many different characters. So yeah. In Honkai Star Rail, I might just borrow viewers' accounts to make videos showcasing new characters. I don't know about polling for them. After Genshin, I don't think it's worth it. Second advice, I think, Walrus, you intentionally don't invest into your units so that you don't stomp the content, right? Some of them, yes. Look, I have a rule on my account that once I'm able to beat Spiral Abyss with the character, I stop giving them more resources. So for Tartaglia, it was here. Where's my Xingqiu? My Xingqiu is a great example. Look at my Xingqiu. One of my most used characters in my account, and I left him at level 70. Why is that? Techie, right? You know exactly why. Once they can do it, that's it. Yao Yao was at level 72 because Dendro's broken as hell. Fischl 70, Sarah 70. Once I can beat the Spiral Abyss with them at a certain point, I stop. So I don't have a lot of level 90 characters. Look, I think Xiangling is my last one. Yep, last one. Right here. That's it. One. Not this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 level 90 characters. That's it. That's it. No more. Yeah, level 70 is a really good sweet spot because not only do you get the Ascension 2, Ascension 4, you get to Ascension 4 and you unlock your last talent here, which oftentimes, no, not this one, it's unlocked on Ascension 2. So if you go to Hazo, look at this. Ascension 4. Ascension 4. I keep saying Ascension 2. I mean Ascension 4. So unlocks character Ascension 4. So that's how I do my character on my account. And I can 36 every single Abyss. I can't. It's just I'm too lazy sometimes to actually go in and 36 start. Like for example, this Abyss, I got to floor 11-2 and I haven't even continued. I'm lazy as hell, people. I'm telling you guys, I don't need the Primo Gems. Look, this is my problem. When I can buy my way out of it, these Primo Gems reward don't incentivize anything for me. So I really have to want to do it to actually do it. But so this is the problem. And I'm telling you, yes, it's my problem because I did this to myself. I chose to spend money and buy my way out of this stuff. So That's why going into Honkai Star Rail, I have to be very careful what kind of game it is. Because if they took elements of Genshin, did they also take this nonchalant, casual approach to the game type of thing? Because if they did, then I really don't want to wail on that game. Nobody should really ideally be wailing on that game, because holy smokes, is it a very difficult journey to combat the this mentality of wailing versus just playing the game. Check the viruses. Walrus, meanwhile, free to plays level 90 and farm endlessly for best stat artifacts to beat Abyss. So pay for convenience? No. A lot of these free to plays, they can beat the Spiral Abyss. You really only need around 3 teams. And out of those 3 teams, you only need like 1 or 2 characters in those teams at level 90 to consistently beat the Spiral Abyss. Really. It's just many players, they want to play their favorite character. For example, if you main Zhao, I'm sorry, you're gonna struggle every now and then. You're gonna struggle, but that's okay, right? Because that's part of enjoying the game. In my opinion, enjoying the game doesn't mean you crush the content with your eyes closed. Enjoying the game means you're actually having fun. You get lost into the, like, whatever you're doing. A good gaming session should feel like it passed at the snap of a finger. It should feel like you've only played for a couple minutes, but you've actually played for hours, right? But really, when it comes to Genshin, it doesn't really give you that feeling, because Genshin only lasts for a couple of minutes. And it feels like you've been playing for hours. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But my point is, a lot of the free-to-plays are endlessly farming artifacts. In my opinion, they're not doing it to clear the Spiral Abyss. They're doing it because they have some character they want to constantly push the boundaries of. They want to get that sexy crit rate to crit damage ratio so they can take a screenshot and send it to their friends, or send it into a Discord community, or they can go and send it to a content creator and be like, free to play, by the way. We're all trying to get validation for our work. And when I say work, I mean the time we've spent grinding and leveling up and perfecting characters in our accounts. Everybody wants to feel like they're working towards something, right? So a lot of free-to-plays are doing it not because they still need it to clear the Spiral Abyss, but they're doing it to try to get the perfect character. They're trying to chase perfection. And that's when you know you're never really going to get anywhere, because you're never going to get the perfect artifact. Well, mathematically you can. Of course, mathematically you can. But statistically, it's highly improbable. But since it doesn't cost anything, right? Your resin has filled up. It doesn't cost you anything. You just go in and farm it, right? Just use it. And you can have like a 1 in whatever, like billion, trillion chance of landing that perfect artifact, max roll on everything, best stat lines, main stat, substat, and then you roll it up, everything just goes perfectly. Sure, you could get it, but it's not gonna happen. Walrus, what is your Nilou Bloom team you use? I'm planning on Ayato, Nilou, Nahida, Yao Yao. Would that be okay? I was messing around with my Nilou teams. I was trying like I tried without Dendro Resonance, and I tried with Dendro Resonance, and obviously the one with Dendro Resonance is better. What I was using, what was I using? I was using like this one. I was using triple Hydro, I believe. I was using this one, which does lack Dendro application, but it was okay. It was okay, but it did feel like at times I was lacking Dendro application. But Nahida is really good, but missing out on the Dendro Resonance is kind of bad. Yeah, so taking this away, putting Yao Yao in would definitely be a small fix. And then I think I want to try Baizhu eventually in this team, but I don't know. about that. But yeah, pretty much most double Dendro, double Hydro teams are not bad. Riona says, I'm using Nilu, Nahida, Kokomi, Xingqiu. Yeah, like triple Hydro, I've tried it. Like it's really good and really strong, but I need to level Nilu up more if I want to abuse her teams, like letting her to level 90, really scaling up that HP. Late 7 gotta get I'm a call with others to discuss next video, but wanted to say, hey chat, happy 1 year, bro. Till next time. Yep. 1 year. My goodness. I'm surprised Lei is still around after what I did to his account on with the Toma summons. Hmm. Hmm. I would say this is a pretty good team. But personally, I've been running this. It's good enough, so I might just keep it like this. But once Baiju comes around, I'm definitely going to try out Baiju. But I don't think Baiju's kit was designed for a team like this. Maybe. His Dendro application isn't even that impressive. At least from what I've seen. Now, if you don't have Nahida, I don't think running one Dendro on this team is good. So we'll see. The HG says you can play I hate them in solo Dendro, but it's better with DMC. Yeah, this is what I've noticed with Dendro characters. There's always a use for them somewhere. Even nowadays, Kale, DMC are still used in, like, for example, a Nilu team. They're not completely shut out by other characters. I know once Nahida came around, DMC and Kale definitely fell down, but even now people are still utilizing them. And for people who don't have Nahida, there's still really good options for early game free to play, or even late game free to plays can utilize them. But that's a cool thing about Dendro, right? Because the EM stat is so easily accessible, and that's all you need oftentimes. You don't need to balance crit rate, crit damage. The traditional stuff, when you have to balance attack or HP or defense on top of crit rate, crit damage, it takes a lot of time and effort to construct a proper functioning character with good enough stats that you can main. For Dendro, you just get EM. That's it. EM. That's all you got to really care about. So farming for one substat line versus farming for like 3 different stats is right. I mean, characters like Nilu scale off of HP, so you got to balance like HP maybe and EM. But like mostly for Dendro characters, EM. If you just have EM, it's fine. Cool. That's what I like about Dendro characters. Wouldn't Kaveh? Would Kaveh take damage from Nilu Super Bloom? Hmm. So how good would Kaveh even be in here? I don't really remember. Does he have good enough application? I don't want to drop Nahida from this team because Nahida is OP in this team. I don't know. Maybe we can drop Yelan for Kaveh, or free-to-plays can drop Yelan for Kaveh. But I feel like even between Kaveh and Xingqiu, Xingqiu looks better. Keeping Kokomi to heal. I don't know. we'll have to test it to find out. Hmm. Hmm. What do you guys think? Are you guys even excited for Baiju? I'm actually curious. Are you guys excited for Baiju? After all these years, kept talking about Baiju, 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 Baiju. How excited are people actually for Baiju? I remember people were talking about Baiju even before Inazuma was out. I see like the vast majority of chat doesn't really care. And this is the weird thing, right? This is the weird thing. I remember when we first heard about Baiju, people were so crazy about him. People were like, oh my god, he's the owner of like a boo-boo pharmacy. Oh my god, he's saved Chi-Chi. Oh my gosh. Big Dendro daddy. But then now, like this is what I realized. Now, once he's been teased and like said, oh, he's finally coming out, we had that one little craze like, oh my god, finally, yay. And then dead silence. So is this one of those phenomenons where it's like we were only excited for him because he was out of our reach, right? Because we couldn't get him. That's why we were excited for him. And this is like, and now that he's so close and right around the corner, people don't care anymore. You're like, oh, I don't care about Baiju. Gap says there was a theory that he was a Dendro Archon. Yeah, there was a theory about a lot of stuff. Right? Baiju was like this mysterious dude who was like you will see his name dropped between character lore, right? Character voice lines. Baiju was being teased and all that stuff. Like, oh my god, Baiju! Holy! But then, really, when we get down to it, you see his kit, you see how he plays, you see what he does, and everybody's just like, oh, okay. like people suddenly just lost interest. And right, like I just asked chat, and the vast majority don't have interest for Baiju. So then here's my follow-up question, right? Who are you guys excited for? just type in chat, who are you looking forward to right now? Like what are you looking forward to? Is it a character? Is it story progression? Is it a new region? What are you guys looking forward to right now? So let's see. Varka. Listen, Varka, I swear to God, is going to be in the similar shoes to Baiju. Like, people might be really excited for him now, but give it enough time, and they're gonna completely just forget about him. So let me see. Kaveh Hydro Archon, right? Of course, Hydro Archon is like insanely hype, and we have Kazuha, new units, new content for Fatui Harbingers. Me too, man. Me too. When are we gonna get the second playable Fatui Harbinger? Kazuha and Lansan. I don't even know who that is. Okay. PvP Warlords. I just want Wanderer. Wuthering Waves. That's not even Genshin. That ain't even Genshin. The twins, right? The Fontaine twins. Okay. When it comes to the Fontaine twins, do you guys feel like, you guys feel like the Fontaine twins are gonna be like the first characters that are played in like unison with each other? Like the first dual link character. I like the first tag character. Like what it would be really, really cool, in my opinion, if they were like the first characters that can actually tag in and out of each other. No, they are separate. If they are separate, then boring. I mean, it's still something. Like, sure, they might not release new elements, but at least they can make new unique character designs. They've made, in my opinion, Nilou Super Bloom or Nilou Giga Bloom is already more unique than having a playable character be a tag team character. Like, you kind of switch in and out of these two characters, in my opinion. That is right. For whatever that's worth. All right. Of course, for me personally, I'm super excited for Fontaine. I mean, it's to be expected, right? We've been waiting for that region for so damn long. Folklore. It feels like because think about it like this. For regions like Inazuma, Sumeru even, yes, we've waited for them, but we've been waiting for Fontaine, for Shiznaya, for Natlan just as long, right? Have we thought about that? It's just like, sure, we've been waiting for all these regions, but the later a region comes out, the longer we have technically waited for them, right? Like, technically, because they were all teased from the very beginning. All of them were teased from the beginning. And we have been waiting for all of them since the beginning. So it feels like we've waited for Fontaine longer than Sumeru, because we have actually waited for Fontaine longer than Sumeru. And I don't know why, but we shouldn't, but we keep getting excited for these regions, even though they do feel extremely like short-lived bursts of excitement. Right? I feel like they've done better with every single region, though. Like, I do. I feel like Sumeru was better executed than Inazuma, which it was better executed than Liyue, which was better executed than Mondstadt. I think Mondstadt is honestly the weakest region, even including Dragonspine. the terrain was not as exciting. The story didn't feel as exciting, and I mean, obviously, it was like the introduction, right? It was, what do they call that in writing again? It was the exposition, right? Mondstadt was the exposition of the story, so obviously it's not going to be as crazy. But man, it feels like to me, at least, it feels like to me that HoYoverse has been evolving their games, right? Sumeru, what a ride in terms of story. What an incredible build up, right? And of course, I said this even before Sumeru. I said this months before Sumeru came out. It's like Sumeru will be a culmination of what HoYoverse has been learning in terms of game design and story progression. And also from a story perspective, if you're writing a story, you're reading a novel, right around where Sumeru comes out, because Sumeru is roughly like, we're getting close to the midway point. There has to be something that changes, something has to happen. So that's what I was anticipating for Sumeru. And man, HoYoverse really delivered in terms of the stories. I'm really, really excited for Fontaine, because Fontaine, in terms of lore and story, Fontaine is when you really have to give us answers and showcase us to like the bad guy side. Okay, now you guys might be again accusing me of looking at leaks, but I'm telling you guys, this is just story structure. There likely will be a more central focus on the opposition, right? On the antagonist. Oftentimes, like, remember, if you use Naruto as an example, this is when we kind of got a closer look into the inner workings of the Akatsuki, right? Roughly like past the midway point, once like it just has to happen. Yeah, so yeah, you guys even notice it. The Fatui role in each region escalates, exactly, and we are essentially reaching a boiling point in terms of the Fatui. If they don't give us more for the Fatui in in Fontaine, they're gonna really screw up their own story pacing, because it's gonna happen eventually. It will happen eventually. It's just whether it happens in Fontaine or whether it happens somewhere else. Right? So, in my opinion, Fontaine might be the next region where we can get another playable Fatui agent. That's just how I feel. Now, arguably, you would say that we already got the second playable Fatui character, which is, what's his name? Scaramouche. But technically, he's not a Fatui agent anymore. But you can say, like, well, he still scales to the power of a Fatui agent. Fair enough. Fair enough. I will give you that. All right, the guy is still at least as powerful as potentially another Harbinger, but this is going to be the case. Remember it, people. In the case of stories, whenever they become a playable character, they get their ass whooped. Remember how badass Scaramouche was? Do you guys remember how badass Scaramouche was when we first saw him? And now look at him, right? Not even comparable anymore to, like, whenever they become your allies, they get their ass whooped. That's how storytelling goes. They could be the most badass dude when you're fighting against them, when they're on the enemy team, but the second they join your team, they become absolute walking trash cans. Tartaglia is literally still badass. Yeah, but when you're with them, I mean, no. When you're playing him, you don't get access to, I would say, like 80-90% of his lore strength. Right? That's true. You're not able to do his second transformation. Which honestly suck. I don't know why HoYoverse wants to leave that aspect out. Is it not super sexy for players to be able to do a second transformation on Tartaglia? Like, why won't they give it to us? HoYoverse? Why is that? C2 Raiden is 70% of her lore strength. Is she though? Lore strength Raiden was able to split an island in half. Brother. I mean, lore accurate Raiden Shogun is like a whole nother monster. I mean I don't know. I'm just saying. C2 Raiden only decreases enemies' defense. I mean, it ignores. I'm sorry, excuse me. She ignores enemy defense. So technically, you're saying she can ignore an island's defense by 70% and like just slash right through it. That's 70%. Like, no playable character right now is even like the big legendary characters like Raiden Shogun, right, Zhongli. The playable version of them, I'm sorry, they're not even close to their lore accurate strength. Genshin says, my C2 Raiden can't even one-shot Weenet. Right? That's true. If you're saying C2 Raiden is 70% of Raiden Shogun's actual strength, how come C2 Raiden can't one-shot can't one-shot the Weenet? Venti, let's not talk about Venti, please. Not today, please. Please, not Venti. Not Venti, please. Anything but Venti. Can we talk about Grande? Imagine they make. Just kidding. That's a terrible meme. But yeah. My gripe with this has always been, why not make the Archons with these other characters, why not make them super accurate to the lore? Why do we get the watered down version? This is quite literally like, oh, mom, can we get Tartaglia? And then they're like, mom is like, no, it's okay, we got Tartaglia at home. And then Tartaglia at home is like some really watered down, weak ass off-brand version. Right? That's how it feels like. Which sucks, man, which sucks. I feel like I'm being shafted out here. Take the advice, Walrus, won't we get more niche and weaker units in Fontaine? Well, the thing is, how are they going to screw up Fontaine characters in terms of the Hydro ones? I don't know. The Hydro Archon, we've talked about this in the past. We don't really know exactly what direction they're going to take the Hydro Archon, but in my honest opinion, I think the Hydro Archon should be somebody who's like another big major buffer in terms of, not buffer, but like big major support character, especially with her being Hydro. Now, does this mean she can't not? Does this mean that she will not have a chance to being a DPS character? No. There is a chance that they might design her to be a DPS character, but I just feel like it would be such a waste if the Hydro Archon doesn't have a really. For example, my point is she should be able to be played in Bloom, right? Which in extension Hyper Bloom, she should be able to be played in Freeze, Vaporize, right? Electrocharged. She should be able to be played in every single major role in the game that involves Hydro. That's just how I feel like it should be for the Hydro Archon. Now, I might be wrong, and and she's complete ass cheeks in certain Hydro teams, but that's how I feel like Archons should be. Look at Raiden Shogun, right? Every Electro team you could slot in Raiden Shogun. She's just good in all of them. She should completely power creep Xingqiu. Yeah, if the Hydro Archon comes out and she loses out the Xingqiu in certain things, it'll be super disappointing. Hydro has the most broken characters in the game right now, right? So what is their Archon going to be? That, like, most people won't talk about this, but that raises the bar substantially for the Hydro Archon because of how her other characters that exist in the game have already been super successful. right? And think about a situation like this. Kazuha was released after Venti, and at the time we had no idea how to really compare the two, right? Because people would rather thought, oh, you know, Venti is just it's just like Kazuha is a side grade to Venti. That's what a lot of people were saying. I remember because even I said it. It felt like a side grade to Venti. And that's how HoYoverse was able to get away with doing Venti dirty like that, right? But in this situation, we already have Yelan, we already have Xingqiu, and we've had them for a really, really, really long time. So it's very difficult for HoYoverse to get away with screwing up these other characters because we already have a good reference point, right? So now we are going to be very carefully attentive to what the Hydro Archon is capable of doing, which leads me into thinking that the Hydro Archon has to be a really strong character, or else they will not be able to get the usual number of sales they are capable of getting in terms of these characters. Kaz Q says Xingqiu's kit is just so overloaded, they are gonna have to make the Hydro Archon unbelievably broken. Yeah, that's exactly. Because, right, imagine she comes out and she's just like a slightly better version of Xingqiu. That is a huge disappointment. I know it's not, because Xingqiu is incredibly powerful, but it still unfortunately is a disappointment. The main reason is because Xingqiu is already too strong. Xingqiu is way too strong. So that's why it feels like a disappointment when in actuality it may not be a disappointment. But because Xingqiu is, it's like a comparative thing, right? Let me tell you, the Pyro Archon also has the same problem because of Xiangling. Name is Nam says, what are you talking about? Hydro Archon needs only to be as strong as C6 Xingqiu. Then you, okay, look, Yelan is at C0 is as strong as C6 Xingqiu. And then you have the Hydro Archon also as strong as C6 Xingqiu. Right? It's like, sure, for you, it might be exciting, right? For you might be like, wow, another C6 Xingqiu. But then most people already have a C6 Xingqiu. That immediately makes the Hydro Archon obsolete. Like, it immediately, she's just like, oh, she's a C6 Xingqiu. I already have a C6 Xingqiu. Right? Like, what's the point? And you have a C0 Yelan. So basically, by definition, you're like, oh, she just needs to be as good as Yelan at C0, right? It's like, then why even bother? Like, what's the point? What are you pulling her for? Oh, you know, to try new things, to get excited. I mean, like, just try new things, right? Like, we literally just talked about the entire stream. We talked about how, like, for a character to just be exciting, it's not good enough anymore in Genshin Impact. Because the game already doesn't provide any challenges. So to just have the characters be like exciting or stuff like that, it doesn't really lead you anywhere in terms of content. As Keel says, bruh, at this point, I got a C50 Xingqiu. Yeah, that's why I say, like, in terms of game development, you can't just make her a side grade to a C6 Xingqiu. Right? The Hydro Archon has to offer something uniquely different. Like, to your playing experience, to, like, whatever. However people want to experience the game. I think they need to introduce something that's different, that incentivizes maybe a more unique playstyle, synergies, right? Jerome says, but we already have a 5-star Xingqiu in Yelan, so I don't know how Hydro Archon will top Yelan. Well, the thing is, we don't necessarily have to think about it in terms of damage, right? What about utility? Remember, I keep saying, what is a very important feature in Genshin Impact right now? That is the consolidation of roles. Making sure one character can do the job of 2 to 3 characters and making them all top tier. So imagine if the Hydro Archon is an insane buffer that is good. Like it's kind of like Yelan's damage buffing, but even more insane, right? Yelan's damage buff, in my opinion, is more universal than even Bennett's damage buff. It's just that it scales up, so it doesn't it's very difficult to time it, so it's very difficult to utilize it. But imagine the Hydro Archon having buffing capabilities similar to, let's say, Hanna. Let's say similar buffing capabilities to Bennett, but for like 2 to 3 different types of damage deal, or something like that. Or she becomes like, she can buff in terms of Shenhe for Hydro characters or something like Hydro DPS. Maybe she is a key to a Hydro mono team, right? Maybe she offers lifesteal, right? Yeah, maybe she offers lifesteal. Maybe now you can finally stop running healers because you have the Hydro Archon. She makes any character become like, can lifesteal off of the own damage that they deal, right? Heal based off of the percentage of damage that you deal, right? Like that could be an insane new introduction into the game. So that doesn't necessarily have to be damage. That's my point, right? So we can be like, Hoyoverse can get much more creative in terms of the character design. Yeah, Hydro is a very overloaded element right now. Insanely overloaded. So it's like, that's why we have to stop thinking about it in terms of damage and think about it more in terms of like utility in this case. Hydro reaction damage buffer is a possibility. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. Inflict cooldown extension on enemies. No, that won't work. That won't work. That's not an exciting enough feature, because you don't even know what the enemy cooldowns are. And oftentimes there's a lot of people who are destroying or beating enemies before they're even done with their first cooldowns. And I remember people also saying like, Fontaine might be the new region where it incentivizes survivability, which is exciting, right? If there's something in Fontaine that incentivizes survivability, then the game in of itself, the whole aspect of endgame content could shift on its head. And also, think about what the Hydro Archon C2 could be. Show us your cat. I think they just ran away. She went to go eat or something. TechDevour says EroticWalruss AoE version of Yelan or Xingqiu. Done. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening. That would be pretty damn strong. That would be really damn strong. And you know who that would be a huge buff? Chat, I'll give you guys 10 seconds to name the character that'll be insanely broken for. And it's arguably the only character that can take advantage of this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It's Xiangling. If you have AoE, Xingqiu, and Yelan, Xiangling just shoots through the stratosphere. It's another Xiangling buff if that's what Folklore does. It's crazy. Like, look at how insanely broken a Pyro off-field applicator is. It is so disgustingly broken what Jiangling can do in the game. Which leads me, all right, which is why this leads me to think that I don't think she's gonna be AoE Hydro, because AoE Hydro is too easy for players to abuse. While it's a very welcomed addition, Hoyoverse would not likely choose that path because it's too like straightforward. Have you guys realized Hoyoverse nowadays don't like very straightforward characters? They don't like it. They think it's they probably think it's boring or whatever the hell, or it's not, or it's too easy to guess, or it leaves too many loopholes, or whatever the hell they think. But they don't like it. They don't like it one bit. So they have decided to make characters as convoluted and weird as possible. Which, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, I don't mind it. I'm just like, hey, maybe once in a while give us a character that's just, you know, your typical character that we can all relate to. But no, Hoyoverse is like, nah, we need to make this character only do damage when half the moon is showing, and after you do a backflip and you weave some hand signs, then they get an increase in 3% damage dealt for enemies. Like, why would you do that? Like, why? You know, it's, yeah, like Nilu, for example, like, oh yeah, like if this character, you know, dances 3 times, then activates this special effect, but only if you have only Hydro and Dendro characters on your team. Like, come on, bro. Mahoyo is farming our patience. Yeah, sometimes it feels like just reading the freaking, like, just reading all the text on what the character does is already a chore. It's actually pretty crazy how they keep doing this. Imagine the Hydro Archon being similar to Kokomi, that she will provide buffs depending on the total healing bonus on the team. Oh boy. I don't know. The Hydro Archon just doesn't seem like, at least to me, it doesn't seem like it's going to be such a cut and dry character. But of course, I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. Many times, actually. Hydrocon will be like a bubble user who will throw bubbles with her skill, and her burst will be like increasing the gravity so the enemy's movement will be slowed. You know, like, but that doesn't feel like an Archon character, if you know what I mean, right? Like, it doesn't feel Archon-ish. Does that make sense? Like, yes, don't get me wrong, that's a cool character and all, but it doesn't feel like an Archon character. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, okay. And also, yeah, there's the thematics of she's the Archon of Justice. So, but then Nahida is the Archon of Wisdom. So how does that play into her kit? Not very much. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't really play into her kit. Like, how is Wisdom involved with marking all the enemies, opening a huge dome, right? Buffing your EM? Not really. Right? So it's just like, it's just very interesting, is what I'm saying. That Like we can't really figure out. Mind reading, right? She does that too, but that's not like combat focus. How many people are still going around mind reading and being like, oh my god, that's amazing. That's so cool. Can't believe this. Whew. Not too many. Right? Not too many. So yeah, like I mean, we talk about this every now and then, but then there's really it really doesn't change anything. We still have no idea what she does. Win Minion says Venti is the Archon of Freedom, and his Q literally holds enemies in chains. Right, like about 5% of the enemies nowadays. I know we keep dogging on Venti here, but I swear we do it out of love and not hate. Venti mains molding. Oh, Venti mains. You guys are so adorable. How can we not love the Venti mains? Am I right? How can we not love the Venti mains? JK, how's your HSR video doing so far? It's kind of all over the place. The biggest problem I found is finding proper footage. It's a huge pain finding all the right footage. So yeah, it's coming along at a snail's pace because of the footage problem. Nasir says, from now on, we gotta pay attention to the events because they might reveal Hydro Archon's ability, just like they did with Nahida. Yeah, that would. I think that's a possibility. However's is putting in like these Easter eggs, right? Like of sorts for us in terms of these characters. Like it was. Remember how they used was it the second Albedo event to really tease the characters, not tease, like straight up showcase the characters, what was it, the background, like more lore as it pertains to Albedo, which was neat, but at the same time it was like, oh, like they put it inside of like a sub story event, not a sub, but like they just put it in a temporary story event, right? So it also leads me to think like while Hoyoverse wants to build up the lore in Genshin Impact, they also don't have the time and luxury to build it slowly and casually through all the side through all the main story quests, right? They have one main driving line for the story quest, and apart from that it's just all in the side quests, and it basically forces the players themselves, like, okay, if you're really interested, you got to go look for this stuff yourself, right? You got to really care about it enough to go explore the side content to be able to discover more lore. I don't have a big problem with that. It's just for people who are really lore geeks and they actually care about the lore, you will likely never have a chance to figure this stuff out, at least in first person, because they don't exist anymore. So if you want, you can always go online, right? You can go online and watch and stuff like that. Be like, okay, that's cool. That's what happened. So, but then, yeah, if you don't play during those eras of Genshin, you're gonna miss out on all this story. Holiday Story Quest was in that Aranara Doll event. Well, the thing is, it also depends on the characters, right? Because like for us, we might care. For me, for example, I might care about Kaching, but then I don't care about Albedo, right? For example. So to me, the Albedo event is whatever, meh, whatever, don't care. Even if it was there, not gonna play it. But for others, it might be a huge freaking deal. There's so much constraints in terms of technology because all of it is because of storage space, right? There's a lot of people already saying they're really struggling with storage space. So for Hoyoverse to continuously push storage space, it doesn't really make sense. So Hoyoverse, of course, bends to the will of the players and be like, okay, we're just gonna make sure that the storage space is manageable, right? It becomes a manageable size, and then they pay more attention to it. And we end up in a situation where a lot of this content won't ever really get included because there's just that major constraint. Name is Nam says, okay, Walrus, what if she creates a circle? Any enemies that walk into that circle will be judged, and if they have less than 25%, they will die or something like that. That could be very cool, right? Like a circle of judgment, kind of like Jean's thing, right? Like open a circle, or maybe even bigger than that. Or and enemies in there are constantly like, and they have debuffs applied when they're within there, and then cause them to take more damage, right? And then if they are, and then I don't know, her bursts, I don't know, she can apply a mark on enemies, and if enemies in the circles are marked, they are executed under a certain percentage of health or something like that, right? I don't know. That could be very cool. Playing around with percentage health is an insanely cool concept, in my opinion. But also, do you know what's the biggest hint to what Folklore does? Is the artifact set, right? If we really wanted to dig deep, if this is Folklore's artifact set, this is gonna give the biggest hint in terms of what she actually does. Normal charge and plunge attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts. So definitely they're going to utilize every aspect of her kit. We're just assuming this is the Hydro Archon set, right? That's what we're doing. And it's a buff to Hydro damage bonus. So she might straight up be like a damage dealer. It very much could be the case that she's a damage dealer, right? So if she's a damage dealer, a DPS, what would be an exciting thing? I think the whole like executes enemies below a certain percentage of health could happen, but it might not happen at C0. That might be a C6 thing, right? Because think about it, executes enemies that are below a certain percentage of health, that is just straight up broken. Like that is, and imagine if she does that passively. Imagine if either A, it's the field she applies, or B, it's a mark that's applied onto the enemy. So you can apply the mark on the enemies, then switch out to another character like, I don't know, Raiden Shogun, come in, use Raiden's burst, get them all super low, and then the mark executes all the enemies. Right? Just think about how broken that is. So if that's not something she does, but she applies that mark on enemies, and the marked enemies, once their health reaches a certain point, they just get executed. Then that's a very, but that might only happen at C6, right? So the mark originally just provides a damage like bonus or like a debuff to the enemies. So all enemies applied by this mark take increased damage, blah 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 blah, from Hydro reactions, for example, right? That's not too broken, but just good enough to be incentivized to be used in Hydro-centric teams, which is very universal. Like Hydro-centric teams are pretty much like 80% of the meta teams are Hydro-centric teams. Right, so meaning all Hydro reactions, meaning Ayaka gets a buff, right? Freeze, meaning Electro Charge team gets a buff, Bloom teams, Hyper Bloom team, Nilu teams, Super Bloom teams, like they all get huge bonuses. Vaporize teams gets bonuses. Everybody wants Folklore on their team suddenly. All these Hydro teams wants Folklore on their team. And then at C6, there's like, additionally, when enemies go below like 15 or 20% health or whatever, or like if that's too much, maybe like 10% health, they get executed. Marked enemies just immediately gets executed. right? That could be interesting, but obviously it's too broken to be left at as a C0 ability, like straight up executing below a certain percentage health. Tony Wong says C2 reduce defense of all enemies affected by Hydro by 60%. That could be a good constellation too. But that just feels so straightforward to me. Now I know HoYoverse is not known for being like revolutionary with their constellations nowadays, but I wish her C2 were a little more like unique. Exactly what and how, I don't know. Okay? Remember, I'm just a dude sitting here talking random stuff. I have no idea how or why HoYoverse do some things, but I really hope that her C2 is a little bit more unique and still just as powerful. Am I going to be pulling for Folklore C2 and her weapon? Perhaps, maybe. That's like the bare minimum I have done for all my Archons. I really wish I didn't do that for Venti, but I still did it, right? Venti, the old Archons, my Venti and Zhongli are all both at C4 with their weapons, I believe. Raiden Shogun is at C3, Nahida is at C2, Folklore is probably going to be at C2 as well. Let's see here. I really want to summon on this banner. Trust me, I really do. This is a cool banner to summon on, although I don't need this weapon. It would be nice to have it. Should I summon on the weapon banner? Oh my god, 5, 6, 7. 1,000 floating dreams. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Oh boy. No, chat. Don't do it. Don't tempt me. All right, hold up. She's currently using the Primordial Jade Cutter, which is good. It's good. What's Nahida C3? Is it her burst or her elemental skill? All schemes, no, that's her elemental skills, right? Yeah. My Nahida's elemental skill is only at level 6. I mean, I want to level up higher, but it's just like, why? She's so broken, man. She is so broken. She is busted beyond belief, even just at this like just here. Now, of course, I have her at C2, right? I understand that. Very broken. If I refine this, see, this is the thing. I don't want to read that. Like, I'm so lazy. I don't want to read that. A huge wall of text, but I'll do it. Okay. Character with provided equipment character with buffs based on the elemental type is the same as the latter or not. And then like the latter or not. If the elemental types are the same, increase elemental mastery by 40. If not, increase equipment character damage bonus of the elemental type by 14%. Like, it's not that insane of a boost, right? It's not that good. It's like a minor boost. Now this weapon, HP, right? So it's an HP percentage sword. HP increases at 20% when elemental skill hits an opponent. You gain the Grand Heim effect for his equipment character's elemental mastery by zero out there. Max HP this can be triggered once every 3 seconds. Max 3 sacks. God damn it. Very good for Nilu. When this effect gains 3 stacks, or when the third stack's duration is refreshed, the master of all nearby party members will be increased by like it's a good buffing sword. It's a good sword. Oh no! I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Look at how many gems I've been saving up. Oh boy, don't do it. Walrus, don't do it. Walrus. Stay strong, Walrus. Don't do it. The thing is, if I end up getting Nahida's weapon, that's gonna be a big rip. You guys do know that, right? You guys do understand the level of risk that is involved with what we're doing here. Please. It's like what, a 75% chance to get one, and a 75% chance to get one of the rate up ones, and then there's a 25% chance to get an off banner. So it's like a 32.5% chance of actually getting the weapon. Now granted, I'm very close already, so I don't have to summon for too long. My god, this is, when I get nervous, I need a poop. Chat must be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is he talking about? Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm saved for Baiju though, so like basically I'm guaranteed for Baiju, so I don't need a lot of gems, and I don't want Baiju's weapon. I have a rule that I don't summon weapons for healers. Is that being discriminatory towards healers? Perhaps, but that's just what I have decided for myself, which is I don't want to summon weapons for healers. They don't really need it, right? So you guys are right in that I won't be needing all these gems to summon for Baiju. So cuz look. In terms of my summons here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have a total of 50 pulls, and we're guaranteed Baiju. So Baiju is coming home. How much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages. So we're 30 pulls, and we need 35 summons to have an attempt. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Just skip for Baiju now. It's okay. You have Nahida. Like, if I were a free-to-play player right now, if this were a free-to-play player with this many gems saved up and prepped, I would suggest a free-to-play player just skip everyone until Folklore. That would be like the single smartest decision a free-to-play can do for their account if they were in the same position as me right now. But your boy ain't a free-to-play. Okay, let's do 10 polls and see how it goes. We'll go from there. All right. Now I know you guys love listening to the audio because for whatever reason it brings you guys. Why can't I hear anything? Do you guys hear something? I increased the audio, but I don't hear anything. Did I mute Genshin Impact? There it is. I muted Genshin Impact. Let's make sure we're on the right language because okay, Japanese or Chinese. Do some ritual movements, right? Once she starts dancing, we'll summon. Once she starts dancing, we'll go in and summon. Mike comments says, "Oh, Mike comments. Welcome to the Bronze Tusk. Thank you, Mike, for the support." There she is. The dance starts. Perfect. Let's go. Why can't I hear the summon? Why can't I hear the summon? Oh! Sound effects is off. What? Why couldn't it be a Kuki Shinobu? I can't quit out now, chat. This should be 60 polls. So 1. We'll go for it once. Whatever weapon we get is whatever weapon we get. 2. 3. Oh, 63? I still got it! Oh my god, I still got it, baby! Here we go. Bam. Bam, boom, bada bing, bam, boom. Oh no, not the 3-star weapon leveled up. They need to let us choose here what we want. Why can't we use the crystals? I mean, for the earlier levels, this is fine, but it's so annoying once you get it up to what is this? Oh, well, that's awkward. What's her health right now? 47,000. What if I use this? 44,000. Hey! It's already a bonus. I'll be taking that. This goes back to I'll hate them. Woo! Where's my Are you guys getting goosebumps? Woo! Oh! Okay. Okay, we I got cold sweat just from that was a fucking jump scare and a half. Wait, where are we going? Yeah, we're moving into the new region. I mean the new sub-region. All right, let's go. We need to get into this region, follow this trail. So it's right in front of us. The camera angle was almost bannable. No. We're not doing here, chat. We don't do that here. Level her up. But she's so good at level 70, bro. But I get what you mean, because her weapon now really buffs the rest of the team even off of her max HP. So actually leveling her up will make her weapon even better. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm here. We need to lead him away from the herd. Not 26k, right? 26k is not that impressive, honestly. You get to like the 40ks, 50ks. That's when it starts becoming crazy. Do you collect 20 weekly XP books from your pot? No, sometimes, not always. It's a little bit more north of here. Should be up there on that hill, or is that a cave? Is that a cave, chat? Oh no, it's right here. This one's very easy to find, it seems like. Cool, nice. All right, let's check it out. I don't even know if this team is fitted. Current party level is lower than recommended. What do you mean it's lower than recommended? Let's see. Imagine if we get hurt the same amount of damage of that super bloom. Yeah. Then then the character is dead on arrival. Wow, look at this. Look at this domain. What? These monsters? Really?
Hey, 来了呀！别担心，知识与你分享。农场收工，手牵手，不必心急，请看好了，呀，准备跳了，嘿，嘿，嘿。
This was a pretty easy domain. I thought it was going to be harder. Was this a level 80 domain or a level 90 domain? Because some domains, their max level is level 80. Some are level 90. Okay, let's see. We got HP percentage. We got attack. I don't know if we need attack or HP. It's not the worst. Not the worst. But yeah. I mean, we can keep it around and see. But I have a hunch the Hydro Archon might be an HP scaling character. Yeah, might be an HP scaling character. My super blooms don't do that much damage. What did he say? Watakundala. Let's see. We don't really need DF pieces. Another one. Oh, this one. This one's kind of Note to self, don't summon for weapon unless it's the weekend. Yeah, we can't even farm for the weapon right now. It's stuck here for now. Oh.
别担心。
收，不必心急，点数如何？
And Yelan's auto attacks also feels incredibly satisfying with alongside her burst. Oh! Oh. Oh. Or did you do parametric transformer yet? You can try for at least a bump on the weapon today that way. What's the parametric transformer? Oh, is it that? Oh my god, oh my god. Alright, I'm about to embarrass myself real quick here.
中场收工，你很疼。
哎，这样不太明智。知识与你分享。
I'm about to freaking die.
海之约。
Oh, wait a minute.
别担心。全都看见了，准备跳。
That thing can summon hydro slimes?
收，不必心急。
He can summon what? Now that gets me wondering, what if in the future a boss can summon Hydro Abyss Heralds? Whoa! Now the thing is, do we want hydro damage? Is that what we're looking for? What are we looking for, chat? HP or hydro damage? Guess you're right. Let's check the first one. Of course it's electro damage. I mean, there's no crit rate or crit damage, but it's something, right? Getting an onset damage piece like this, it's something. It's not the best, obviously. Like, we got 2 flat stats here, but energy recharge, attack percentage ain't the worst. This could have been defense percentage and like flat defense or something like that. Yeah, the substats are not good, but like if worse comes, like push comes to shove, you can always slap this on and use it for now. Not bad, not bad.
Hey. 来了呀，嘿。
你很疼。
和浪花共舞吧。呀，手牵手。
点数如何呢？收。不对。
记住你了，嘿，
抓到！
马达困的了。Get him! What do we want? Crit rate, crit damage, HP, EM? What are we looking for here? I'd say that's a win. I mean, I'd say that's a win overall. Man. Whew. HP circlet done. Hydro goblet done. Now we need a good sands.
准备跳了，
别很疼。
嘿，刺激，智慧之
忠诚，收工，捉到了，不必心急。
请看好了，嘿，嘿，
别很疼。
蔓延吧。
Man, my super blooms aren't doing much damage.
休养生息。
It doesn't really heal Nilou that much because her health is so high. We like imagine if I maxed out Nilou, how much HP will I have? Can Nilou reach like 80,000 health? I don't know. I think I've seen like 70,000 health Nilous, which is crazy to think about. Float said just subbed. Thank you. Welcome to the gang. Maybe okay, Float. This cup RNG is gonna be for you. Watch this. Hydro damage with crit rate, crit damage substat. Let's go. Well, it's because I read your comment after this already popped up. So the next one will be thanks to Float. Yep. This one for sure. This one. Trust.
全都看见了。呀，
丝线交织，捉到了。嘿，
嘿，知识与你分享，帮帮忙，和浪花共舞吧，全力以赴呀呀！
别很疼，眼术如虹。
Oh, it's a hydro slime
不
again.
必心急。嘿，
And he kicks him in the end. You scoundrel. How dare you? Do you guys see that? After he was done with the slime, he kicks him. He kicks him towards us. All right, this will be thanks to Float. Check this out, chat. Interesting. I'll have you know, elemental mastery is a very hard thing to farm on the artifact. We'll see. How do you never get Dia set? Well, that's easy. I just send straight up email to Hoyoverse before I start stream saying, hey, I'm about to farm this new domain that you just dropped, so you better treat me right or else everybody is gonna realize what you've been doing here.
捉到了，忠诚，收工。
It really sucks that that E doesn't kill them because
来我
now
家做客吧，别担心。 请看好了，呀，嘿嘿，深海的加护，呀，呀，呀，
sometimes I don't know if the damage I'm taking from my team is because of my if it's because of my terrible positioning, or it's because of the enemies. No, I mean like because of my blooms or the enemies. All right, last one. Damn it! You just had to talk. You just had to ask that question. I mean, pretty good. We only got one out of 160 resin. We only got one Dia piece. He called Dawei before the stream. Yeah, that's why I was late to starting stream chat.
点数如何呢？
全都看见了，知识与你分享。被打晕了，生命终有尽时。休养生息。
These things hurt.
也很疼。
来了哟！翻涌吧！呀，真难缠呀！呀！哈！呀！手牵手。
中场收工。收。
These things actually hurt. I think I got caught in their double boomerang or something like that.
帮帮忙！
I think they both shot out a boomerang and then they hit me and then they hit me on the way back as well. Holy smokes, I was... And then I got killed by my own bloom. Yes, the last two pieces I need. Let's see the flower, because that one is the first piece. Oh. You can use the 20% HP for Nilu here and then 20% for Milena. That's true. Cole Lazaro says, I don't have the Nisut. What's the max HP I can have for my Nilu? I think without the weapon, like 50, almost 60k, 55k would be pretty easy, no? 50k plus should be doable without the weapon.
全都看见了。
Oh my god, I can't even start dancing.
休养生息。
也很疼。
Whoa.
嘿，刺激，智慧，
丝线交织。收。
这支舞献给你，全力以赴。嘿，嘿，记住你了。
Matakundala. Yeah, without the weapon, you should be 50k. And maybe even more than 50k. I think like 55k should be doable. Depends on your artifacts, of course. Huh. Oh my god. That's lock worthy. Too bad this isn't crit damage, but listen, crit rate, energy recharge, elemental mastery on an Anemo piece is good. Good stuff right there.
手牵手，准备跳喽！呀呀！
中场收工。 捉到了。
嘿，来我家做客吧，帮帮忙，和浪花共舞吧。呀哈，哈，
别很疼。不必心疼。
That didn't kill him? My goodness, these things are tanky. I'll have to see on this one. 2 more runs and we're done. Better make it 69 for 20 health. I might actually try to go for it.
休养生息，全力以赴。嘿，
捉到了。不必心急。
Wow, did you see how many super blooms there were there?
智慧之沧海之约啊！手牵手，别担心。
丝线交织，别很疼。
Mada Kundala. Come on. I'll take that. That's HP main stat and HP substat with an energy recharge. I'll take that. What does Needle? I believe she needs EM though. EM would be ideal. It would be EM and HP would be ideal, right? That's what we're looking for. Oh, I just used her skill to get here.
准备跳了，嘿，哈，这支舞献给你。
捉到了。
嘿，知识与你分享。
中场收工。别很疼。
慢点吧。呀，
Nice. Last one. Come on, come on. Give me a triple. Give me a triple. Well, that's gonna be that. You get what you can get, Chad. You get what you can get. I am not complaining. I would say that was an overall very, very well used 320 resin. 320 resin is just a little over a day's worth of resin. Like a day and a half, really. Not too bad. I'm pretty content with what I got. So, my goal is maybe by the next time we meet, I want to have this weapon to maybe level 80. I want to have Nilou level 90. And then we'll try out some stuff. Apart from that, I'm gonna maybe work on an update in the team video, maybe Nilou team video, talking a little bit about these two characters because they're currently available and people have some questions. But I think in my videos, I mostly outline what I think about them. But of course, I'll give you guys an update on the Abyss once the rotation switches over. But yeah, look forward to Nilou. I'm gonna slowly work my way through this sub-region. And yeah, just then we look towards Baiju. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, this is where we're going to end the stream. And till next time. All right, urge y'all to stay safe. Peace, peace. Bye-bye.